Pastor Jamal Bryant, not without controversy ever. But I do want to say this. I'm not dumping on him. He does a lot of good things. He does a lot of good work. And who I'm referring to, obviously, as I said, the pastor, Jamal Bryant. He has one of those mega churches, one of those, religious worship centers that is trendy. It's like a fashion show. Now, I'm not going to say that they don't take the word heavily and take the word seriously, because I think that they do. But Pastor Jamal Bryant, definitely not a figure that is, I want to say clean. I want to say this out here moving cleanly, because when you are counseling and when you are preaching to other people about being righteous, and when you're preaching to other people about living in the word, and you're preaching the gospel every week, and you're asking for tithes, right? That's how you say it, right? You're asking for donations. Well, maybe it's not donations, right? Okay, no disrespect. But you know what I mean. When you're asking for these type of things from people, it's definitely going to come into play how you live your life and what you do in your life. So the Empowerment Temple is the church of Pastor Jamal Bryant. It has come up. This is not the first time that he's had some type of a situation that has come up. In recent days, online chatter has gotten to the point where I wanted to address it. And after I've done some research into the subject, I wanted to see, first of all, if this was true. Obviously, with the passing of Prince, there have been a lot of people coming out saying that Prince fathered them or fathered their children. And, of course, we know that those allegations, not all of them, are not true. But this one woman, one lady, has come out recently and said that Pastor Jamal Bryant fathered her son last year. And her name is Latoya Odom. She's from California. She's 34 years old. And Pastor Jamal Bryant, 44 years old. So everybody is well over the consenting age. Now, they have a 10-month-old son, allegedly, named John Karsten Bryant. See the last name? But you can see a shot of the child, shot of Jamal Bryant, and a shot of the lady. She's not bad looking, actually. Absolutely, she's not bad looking. So let me say that. But there have been reports of this type of activity from Jamal Bryant in the past, and we all what is the word? Fall short of the gospel, right? We all fall short. We all do things. We all sin. We all commit acts that we may not necessarily be proud of. But if you are somebody who is preaching, you're taking money from people, you're putting yourself on the pedestal that other people should model themselves after you, then I think that you should be held to a higher set of circumstances. Now, the allegations is that Jamal Bryant fathered this child, which in itself is not, it's okay. He fathered a child, all right. So you take care of the child. That should be obvious. That should be what he does. But that is not what happened in this situation. You have Jamal Bryant allegedly fathering this child with this woman. Now, she said that when she asked about, what he wanted to do, what he was going to do, he told her to abort the child. That's what she said. She's saying that he wanted her to get an abortion. She refused, and she gave birth to this child in July, John Karsten Bryant. Now, she has documents that she says support this. It's a paternity test that was carried out by LB Genetics and sent to Odom on August the 12th, 2015. Now, LB Genetics is a DNA testing facility in California, specializing in paternity, family relationships, human identification testing, and the such. So they're a real company. It's the real deal. We have the documents. You can go to radioonfire.com. We have the documents there that you can see. Several documents. So LB Genetics was contacted. One of the workers would only identify herself as Dolores. She didn't want to give out her last name. I get it. She said that she could not give any information regarding the testing or the person's names because that's a violation of privacy. You have HIPAA and all of that good stuff. So she couldn't necessarily go into detail about it. But we do have the documents. The documents are out there. Now, some people online, when we posted the story earlier today, some people said, he's not married anymore. He can have a child, obviously. And that is true. However, if you're living a facade, if you're living a lie, it has to be called out. And Jamal Bryant allegedly is living a lie. And while I'm saying that, out of wedlock, maybe that's old school, right? Maybe that's the old way of thinking. But he is a pastor, he's a reverend, he has a big church, he has a mega church. So you would think that if he had a child, that he would take care of the child. And I'm not saying he has to marry the mother. No, I'm not saying that. Those days are far gone, but he should take care of the child. And a lot of his supporters, a lot of his followers, maybe members of his church have been taken up for him, making excuses. Why do we make excuses for our religious leaders? Why? Why do we do that? Because they are ordained by God, I'm assuming. Now, the lady did confirm that John Taddy, who sent the results to Odom, is the director of the facility. The test results indicate that Jamal Harrison Bryant is 99.99999 the father of this child. As I said, documents will be, they are available now on radioonfire.com, so you can see those there. And on the rebroadcast, we will have the documents there. Now, the alleged father cannot be excluded. The probability of paternity, 99.999, as compared to an untested, unrelated man of the black population. So another man was tested. So I do want to say this. I mean, Jamal Bryant, if you got someone pregnant that maybe you weren't too happy to get pregnant. Let's say that somebody else, because this lady has a child, let's say that a rapper, right, got, I don't know, Superhead pregnant, right? If a rapper got Superhead pregnant, maybe he might not want to claim that, right? Is this woman, is she the Superhead of the religious community? I don't know. I'm not going to say that. But as we've looked into her past, she has been connected with several religious figures. Now, did you get set up, Jamal Bryant? It's quite possible. A lot of people angry at me. Angry because I'm speaking about this. Of course, you have religious people, and religious people tend to get brainwashed very easily. Salvation is for sale in some churches. Now, Jamal Bryant has been heavily involved in the Black Lives Matter movement. But Jamal Bryant, if this is true, Black Lives Matter, right? Do black babies matter? Well, why did you want to abort this child? I mean, he already has children. He pays child support. Obviously, his former wife, a reality star on the Housewives of Potomac, which is here in Maryland, by the way. And also, Jamal Bryant has been tapped as one of the 4 pastors expected to co-host a new faith-based talk show that's going to be tested on Fox this summer called The Preachers, and it's going to be tested in L.A. and New York. But as I said, Jamal Bryant, no stranger to sex scandals. his ex-wife, obviously, we remember her. We spoke about her filing for divorce back in 2008. Now, ironically, it was because he fathered a child, right? Fathered a child outside of the two children that they share. And, ironically, this woman was coming to Jamal Bryant for help, for counseling, marriage counseling. Imagine that. And they end up having a child. So it's definitely not something that, is out of his realm of possibility. It's not like it's something that he wouldn't do or has not done in the past. So let me say that. Now, let's get a little bit into this. The Odom talked to Obnoxious Television, and she said that the child support payments of $1,100 per month, which he agreed to, have not been consistent. Let me get to her quote. This is a quote from Latoya Odom, the mother. She says that Jamal requested and paid for a paternity test and is in fact the father of this one son that we know of, and her alleged son. He also agreed to pay his standard amount of $1,100 a month for child support. All of the baby mamas get that amount, according to her. The issue is, from her, that he is inconsistent in paying the child support and refuses to be a father figure to the son while rallying for Black Lives Matter campaign and speaking out against the injustice of black men. So, like I said, I understand that we make mistakes. I make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Now, I do not have any biological children. I've spoken about that many times. I did for 11 years raise a child that was not mine. And it really bothers me when someone who actually has children does not care for them, when you have people like me and others who have stepped into and played those roles when the biological fathers did not or chose not to or were unable to. In this case, Jamal Bryant obviously is able to do that, and he is choosing not to. So he definitely has to be called out for that. Now, Jamal Bryant said in a 2013 interview that if he had not divorced his wife when he did, he was confident that he would have been unfaithful again. He acknowledges that he makes mistakes, but this right here is unacceptable. He has some IRS issues as well, with a $440,000 tax lien for various years. All of that can be rectified and got together, and he can really be an example for people who need him. Let's get to some of these comments real quick. Fat Mama, she said that he is human flesh and blood, and no one is perfect. Who are we to judge anyone as if we have not committed some type of sin? Very true, Fat Mama. We all have done that. But, if someone's standing in front of you smoking, right, and they're telling you you don't need to smoke, right? Kind of like a do as I say, not as I do. That's not setting a good example, Fat Mama. And so, it's not. All right. Diane Johnson says, it was so evil for someone to write this article. I hope you are not a brother. We are so quick to come out and point out the wrongdoings of others like we have not sinned or fallen short. Keep this brother and his family in your prayers. So back-to-back people just making excuses for Jamal Bryant and this type of activity. When you put too much faith in humans, you are going to be disappointed. Now, Tanisha Thomas, hopefully she is the voice of reason here What's done in the dark will always come to light, she says. And if it's true, it shall be revealed, and the truth shame the devil, etc., etc. I agree with that. That makes sense. And somebody else saying that the word says, don't let your good be evil. It's time to sit down and be restored the right way. When you're in the position of telling others to live holy and you are fornicating, come on now, especially if you are versed in the word. He says, I watch him every Sunday, but now I'm mixed about this until he exposes the devil. Okay, so this is one of his followers, and obviously the other two seem to be some type of a supporter for him. But, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, and we've spoken about Jamal Bryant before, I think that he does a lot of good work. I think that he has good intentions, but some of this stuff has to be cleaned up, and hopefully he'll get it together. Let me know your thoughts, though. Continuing in the comment section. Also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Diamond K Show. And as always, radioonfire.com.